Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. So this morning I woke up and I was stunned because I was attacked again by some more posts on the internet from Bronny James, right? Now, as you guys know, we did a show about Bronny James being sent back to the G-League, right? And we did a show about that. Most people that watched that show agreed that that was the correct thing for the Lakers to do, right? That Bronny wasn't good enough to be on the roster. So I woke up this morning, because I don't follow the G League and I don't know what's going on in the G League, but some people do, to be greeted by a post. And I want to share this post with you guys here. All right. I want to let's put up this post here. And it says, Bronny cooking in the G League. Okay. And it says Bronny making it look easy in the G League. Right. So I later on wake up to see that Bronny James in the G League scored 15 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists on 50% field goal shooting. And I said to myself, here we go again. LeBron fans are out here losing their minds. Okay, let me first of all read some of what people were saying under the video itself. It then goes, Bronny is more down to earth, I'm just reading some of the comments, than most of the bums hating on him and literally has no effect on their life that he's in the NBA. Like, he took their spot. Another guy says, Bronny could, I challenge you to be the G League MVP. Shut the hell up of all the haters. Another guy said, his game has improved. Another guy says, he needs to go on the road too. Another guy said, G League Kobe. Another viewer says, too good for the G League, bad for the NBA. And it just kept on going on and on and on and on. On the post itself on social media, some people were making fun of him, but other people were like bigging this up. Now, I want to get to my larger point here. There was a big argument that took place the other day on Gil's Arena about, are they singling out Bronny? That he's a 55th pick. Well, if he's a 55th pick, why are they posting him on NBA on ESPN? Why? Because they're saying he's not good enough, so why are you guys focusing on a player that's not that good? You bring up a good point. Why are they posting a player that's not that good? Why? We all know the reason why they're doing this, but these guys like to pretend. They like to pretend. Oh, no, you're just hating on him. You don't like your fault. Bro, knock it off, man. If Bronny James was not the son of LeBron James, y'all would not defend him. The same reason people are getting at Bronny is the same reason that people are defending Bronny, because he's LeBron's son. That's a fact. But don't overlook the part of how the media and these guys are playing their role in promoting him endlessly. And this is part of the problem, because they're putting so much pressure on the guy. Yesterday, we did a show reacting to the back and forth, really the response that Draymond Green had to make towards Kenyon Martin. Now, Kenyon Martin was on Marcellus Wiley's show. He was also on Gil's Arena, where he was essentially saying that, look, I don't think Draymond is a tough guy. I think he's a fake tough guy. I think a lot of the stuff that he does is premeditated. All right. He picks and chooses who he's going to go after. Nothing never seems to be in the spur of the moment. Because they were asking him, who do you think are some of the NBA enforcers throughout the history of the game? He's brought up PJ Brown. I think McDaniels. He brought up Antonio McDaniels, if I remember properly. He brought up Charles Oakley, a few others. But he didn't bring up Draymond Green, right? And Draymond is perceived to be the enforcer of this modern era of the NBA, right? So then Draymond decides to respond to Kenyon Martin And instead of responding directly to what Kenyon Martin said, he went off and started trying to do comparisons about their career. He basically started to deflect, right? And tried to make fun of Kenyon Martin's accomplishments as an NBA player. So for those of you who don't remember what Draymond had to say, I want to quickly play his comments for you guys here because Kenyon Martin goes in today. Take a listen to what Draymond Green had to say here.
Number one, because I just know when I respond to it takes on a whole nother world, and guys get more publicity than they necessarily get when I don't respond. So I've been kind of taking the path of like, I ain't going to say nothing because I don't want to give people more publicity. But more importantly than the publicity, I try to stay in a space of respect. You know what I'm saying? I try not to be moved by someone just saying a thing or two, because at the end of the day, I still have my beliefs, and my beliefs are, man, I've rooted for this guy for a very long time, so I'm not a wishy-washy guy. Just because somebody say something, I'm not just going to jump out there and be like, oh, man, like, I got to respond or forget all of that. Like, nah, I stand on what I believe in. And what I've believed in is like, no, I supported that guy. So I'm not just going to jump off the rails and attack him or be responding and getting in these back and forths because of the respect and love that I had growing up as a kid. But, man, the shots just keep coming. And it's like, dang, why? And again, I just don't know how you can continue to shoot at me and you underachieve. Like, one All-Star? Make no mistake about it. You are an All-Star. I'll give you that. A lot of people can't say they're an All-Star, so I'll give you that. You're a one-time All-Star. That's beautiful. But you must admit, like, to be the player that you were and defender that you believed you were and to not have, like, a single all-defensive second team, it's kind of an underachievement. Number one pick in the draft. A lot of people look for that guy to win Rookie of the Year. Didn't. All rookie team, though. First team all rookie. That's an accolade that I can't say I have. I ain't really played much as a rookie as the 35th pick. So I can't say I made any all rookie team. So kudos. I tip my hat to that. It started off promising. But I just, like I said, man, the shots, they're just a little baffling to me. Because all the criticism, like, if I stopped playing basketball today, my career was better, way more impactful. I think Kenyon Martin lost in a couple NBA finals. He got to sniff it. Didn't quite get a taste, but got a little sniff of it. Yeah, so your resume got to be a little better to just keep taking shots. It's not that people, like, your resume don't match up, people can't say, but these have been shots being taken. And it's just a little disappointing because, like I said, that's a guy who I cheer for relentlessly. Him in 2000 playing for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to see that championship through either. My big brother, Mateen Cleaves, went and took that championship. So yeah, man, it's just a little disappointing.
Great. So that's what he said yesterday. So just this morning, I woke up. To my surprise, Kenyon Martin dropped another video. Well, not another. He dropped a video in response to the video the sound that we just played for you guys. And it was a much longer response, like almost 15, 20 minutes. We're not going to play all of it, but we want to play the parts where Kenyon Martin directly addresses the points that Draymond Green brought up. And I think that he absolutely, he destroyed him. These are my thoughts. Take a listen to him here.
You have taken it that I've been taking shots at you. Your words. Shots, not so much. Speaking facts, getting paid to give my opinion now. So my opinion matters. And getting paid for it, so as well as yourself. So you can understand when something needs to be addressed, you always tend to address it. So, like I said, appreciate the acknowledgement, brother. You stated that I was an underachiever. And let's get into that first. Underachieving? Not so much, brother. If what I got into it for was different than most people, then, yeah, but what I got into it was to play 15 years. Check. Right? So, being drafted #1. select few. Year 2, making it to the finals. Year 3, making it to the finals. Year 4, being an all-star. Being traded from that said team for three picks. Three first round picks, sorry. Not 3 picks, 3 first round picks. Changed conferences. Played in the toughest power forward area that could possibly be. Underachieving? Nah. Held my own? Yeah. 2 microfracture surgeries. The only athlete to come back from that. Patella surgery, repair. Knees, all of that. Ankle put back together. Still playing. Don't sit out of games. Can't tell me to sit out of games. I'm cut from a different cloth. You stated Kenyon was born and raised in Saginaw. Correction. Born in Saginaw. Oak Cliff made, brother. You talking about? So, cut from a different kind of cloth, man. I'm built different. And that word underachieving is thrown around too loosely. Right? It really is. And from someone who came into this thing to a bad team, year 2, make it to the finals, led said team in scoring. Can you say that? Don't think so, brother. Come back, do it again. Came up a little short, much better team. Played the Lakers, came up short. You say I got the sniff it? Yeah, I went a couple times. Lost to some really good teams. Nothing to be frowned upon. Year 2, year 3, 23-year-old young man making it to the finals, playing against a dynasty in the Lakers. Yeah, really good team. And you mentioned that I never defensive player of the years and all defensive teams and things of that nature. We all know those things are biased, brother. You know what I'm talking about? Very biased. But the guys that I had to guard, different. Night in, night out, different. But ask them, same people who I had to guard, what did I bring to the table? We're not talking accolades here. You did your thing, man. You're a 4-time champion. Congratulations. But we all know, people that know this game and watch this game and know what to look for in this. They know, bruh. People that know basketball know what this is, man. Like, there's no way to like around it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't even like double figures for your career. Like you can't, like that's your personal accolade. That's something that you're not doing or doing. Single digits across the board. You've helped, yes. You've been the ultimate glue guy. I am shocked and appalled that you don't have an Elmer's Glue sponsorship, brother. Because if look it up in the dictionary, they should have your picture next to the Elmer's Glue thing, bro. Like glue, Draymond. Yes, bro. Absolutely. Every team needs one. You change that dynamic the way certain GMs look at glue guys, right? Second round picks. Like you changed the narrative for a lot of second round picks. Good job. I wouldn't know nothing about that. Never been considered a glue guy. Maybe later in my tenure after surgeries and moved teams a couple times, but no, not necessarily that kind of a glue guy. I was asked to do certain things and play certain people and score. I was actually, you know what? I was actually asked to score for us to win. I was actually asked to put that little round thing into that other little round thing. Like, for real, like they asked me to do, they ran plays, like, for me, like, to go do. I just wasn't a passer. I wasn't sitting there finding guys and two of the best shooters of all time. Right? That's what I wasn't asked to do those things. That's just I was asked to go play actual basketball. Like, pass it to me, shoot it, score it. Yeah, those things. Meaning, like, yeah, it was kind of a big deal in my, before surgeries, kind of a big deal, man. Right? Oh, they want me to pause. We ain't pausing nothing. We talking hoop here. So that was funny though. That was funny. I appreciate that. But yeah. So since we're talking careers, right? And we're talking numbers. So Steph Curry, we all know, is arguably going to go down as the best point guard ever. Is the best shooter ever. Hell of a basketball player. Shout out to 30, man. So, did a little digging. And Lil Birdie told me that games that Steph has played without Draymond, he is 53 and 38 in those games. Games without Draymond. He's winning record, winning percentage without Draymond. So let's flip that same coin. You've played 128 games without Steph. Wonder what that record is. That same little birdie told me that record 52, 76, 128 games. Under 500. So who needs who? Who's underachieving? Who's not carrying their brick when 30 ain't out there? Who should be asked to do more? Should the other guys be asked to do more, or should the guy that's been around that know how to win step up his production?
Great. So you heard what Kenyon Martin had to say. What are my thoughts about this? Look, Draymond Green deflected. And I got to say that this entire exchange between him and Kenyon, I think is proving Kenyon Martin's point. He picks and chooses. Because if you was about it, as you always say or seem to be about, you would have went right back at Kenyon. But instead, you're talking about, in your response video, he said absolutely nothing about the point that Kenyon Martin brought up. Kenyon Martin wasn't talking about Draymond Green's career. As a matter of fact, in the original sound, he was bigging him up. He's like, I don't take anything away from him. He didn't do any of that. He was talking about enforcers and how he believes that Draymond Green picks and chooses. And what did Draymond do? Pick and choose again. He chose, I'm not going to go directly at him and address the points that he brought up. Instead, I'm going to try to turn myself into the victim here and make it seem as if like I'm being attacked. Like, oh my God, why would you say this about me? Not forgetting the fact that it was about 2 weeks ago where Draymond Green was on his new NFL podcast where he called Dak Prescott a bum. A bum. So in that instance, you're giving your honest critique, right? And no one should have any issues with it, including Dak Prescott. In that instance, I'm just giving my sports take. But when it came to Kenyon Martin and his opinion, he's not giving a sports take. He's hating. You see the difference with you see what the games that Draymond plays? This is what he does on the court. A lot of the time, Draymond sucker punches people, and then he flares his hands up like he doesn't know what he just did. He'll step on somebody's chest and act like he doesn't know what he just did. In this instant, he did it again. He called Dak Prescott a bum. A certified bum. Double, triple down on it. But then, when they call him out, all of a sudden now, he a victim. He running from the smoke. Kenyon Martin is addressing you directly. In this sound, he decided to go down the path which you went down, which was, oh, let's talk about each other's careers. But the reality of it, that wasn't Kenyon Martin's point. Kenyon Martin was simply talking about, are you an enforcer in the NBA? He doesn't believe you to be that. You turned it into some other about, oh, he's taking a personal shot at me. He started talking about championships. What did Kenyon? He didn't talk about that. So to me, man, he's still running. He out here looking like the road runner, the running man. Like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, the running man. Or running ball, or whatever the hell the name of that movie was called, the running man. Come on, man. Like, keep it a bean. Don't be throwing rocks and then hide your hand. You just called Prescott a bum. But then you want to get offended when somebody talk about you. But in this case, he didn't even mention anything about you personally in terms of your career. But you took it there because you're trying to hide behind the fact that, oh, he said, instead of addressing like, nah, Kenyon, I don't pick and choose. I go at anybody. You didn't do that. You wanted to hide behind, oh, he's hating on me. Come on, man. Knock it off. Yo, knock it off with this, man. Knock it off. Well, looks like we got some beef in these streets again. Stephen A. Smith then messed around and went at Jason Whitlock. Boy, oh boy, did we not see this one coming, right? Mind you, he had done this already in the past, last year, or early this year, I remember, but like a while ago. So I was shocked to see this happening again. And on this episode is called Jason Whitlock's Latest and So Much More to Discuss, right? So I just saw, like I was on the internet and I saw this. I'm like, Stephen A. Smith live talking about Jason Whitlock. I'm like, what is going on here? So I decided to tune in, and on there he had his nephew, and I forgot the other gentleman. Oh my God, let me see. He's a very well-known member of the media. Let me see if they put his name in the show notes. Let me see. Did they put him there? No, they did not. They did not, unfortunately. But all of you know who he is, but they didn't put his name there. Anyway, so these two gentlemen were there with Stephen A. Smith, right? And I was trying to figure out what happened this time around. What happened? Now, brief context. Jason Whitlock constantly goes to Stephen A. Smith. Constantly. So do I. But usually my takes are, I don't believe in Stephen A. Smith's political views. That's just my take on it. Right? I'm not running away from it, but that's my take on it. But Jason goes at him and it hits differently. Stephen A. Smith don't know me. Stephen A. Smith don't care about me, right? So it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what Jason Whitlock thinks, because Jason Whitlock used to be a television personality. He's known. So it hits differently, right? So Stephen A. Smith would never respond to me, nor do I wish for him to. He doesn't have to respond to me. I'm not looking for that. But he will respond to Jason Whitlock, and Jason Whitlock goes at him quite a bit. So do I, but I'm just saying, I'm just breaking down the thing between the two of them. So I tuned into this live, and there was a part where, because it was live and you can see the comments, there was a part where he's like, now let me address Jason Whitlock. And you saw people posting like popcorn emojis in the comments. I like, baby, like, here we go. And I'm like, here we go. And let me tell y'all, Stephen A. Smith went to town on Jason Whitlock. Like, he was leaning into to do. Like, I was like, bro, this is crazy. Okay, so I want you guys to sit back and get ready for this one. Take a listen to Stephen A. Smith getting at Jason Whitlock here. Take a listen to this here.
Sit back, y'all. Just recline while I deal with this dude once and for all. Okay. That wasn't all he said. He had a lot more to say. Before I go any further, let me stay here, though. This same dude, ladies and gentlemen, working over there at Blaze Media, trying to come across as he's some paragon of virtue. And he brings up God a lot. Tell me what's God like about what he does. He talks smack about people. He ventures into the personal. He swears up and down he knows stuff he can't possibly know. He does all of these things. And he hides behind a cloth of truth. This is what he's trying to swear that it is, but never telling the truth about himself. How are you acting before you got a job at Blaze TV? What proclivities did you have, Jason Whitlock? We could talk about other people's personal life, but we don't want to get into yours, right? Looking like a damn walrus. This is who you are. The lion ass that you are. Ladies and gentlemen, this dude literally tried to say I lied in my book. Did you contact Amy Bell from Simon & Schuster? Because you see, they fact check everything. I'm a New York Times bestseller. I know that hurts him to hear that. You want to be in media. You want to be in front of the camera. I work for ESPN. I work for SiriusXM. Plus, I own my own platform. Who you working for? And by the way, you're working for them. Why? Because you can't get a job anywhere else. How come Fox won't hire you? How come ESPN won't hire you? How come CBS or NBC won't hire you? How come you can't get a real job? You don't talk about that. This is the kind of stuff that happens. He has gotten to a point where if you look at him, the only way he's making money is off of talking about me. He talks about me all the time, y'all. He talks about me all the time because you're not where I'm at. You know, you the dude that slide tape recorders under hotel doors to try to listen to athlete conversations. That's the dude you are. You're the dude that sit up there and lie all the time, every chance you get, and go about the business of undermining people in your professional career. There's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, you can say what you want about me, but you notice that you'll see me at basketball games, you'll see me at football games, you'll see me at boxing matches, you'll see me at UFC matches. You know why you don't see Jason Whitlock there? Because he can't show up in public. Because he's scared of what's going to happen to him. Because that's how many enemies he has because of all the lies that he has told, especially about black people. This is the devil in the flesh. I'm talking right now to the people who work with him. Y'all are next. I'm not talking about from me. I'm talking about from him. He turns on everybody. He will lie. He will deceive. He will do everything. Satan is his father. When I said what I said about him, he tried to call Winston-Salem State acting like I was lying about having a basketball scholarship. At least that's what they told me. Do you know what else he did? Are you ready for this? Put Kevin and Josh back up on the air because I want to see their face when I said this. Do you know he called my pastor? Pastor A.R. Bernard from the Christian Cultural Center in New York. Jason Whitlock called him trying to get him on the show to talk about my personal life and my personal revealings to my pastor. When we talk about despicable, how despicable can you be? This man, every time I turn around, the fixation on me, he went on Sage Steele's podcast and talked about me for 18 minutes. I just got off the phone with Sage Steele because I had to get permission to show the clip. And she said, quote, I was shocked at how much he continued to talk about you. She didn't say anything bad about him. She just said, I was very shocked because it was unsolicited and volunteered. He just wouldn't stop. I'm paraphrasing. Because he can't stop talking about me. Why don't you tell him the truth, Jason? It's the only way you can make money. Because that's how useless you've become in mainstream. You don't even talk about sports anymore. You talk about people. You don't have to get out there and do any reporting. You don't have to get in somebody's face. Do I need to talk about when you was on Patrick Bet-David's podcast and how you were supposed to make an appearance with Roland Martin? And you found out at the last minute it was Roland Martin that you had to sit on the set against, and you ran out in the street all discombobulated and foggy to the point where they had to grab you off the streets from getting run over by a car because you didn't know where you were because you were so petrified of having to sit across from Roland Martin and debate him about the politics that you spewed. We want to talk facts? This is Jason Whitlock. This is who he is. I'm not going to call him what Matt Barnes calls him on The Smoke. I'm not going to talk to you about what people think about him. I'm encapsulating it by saying this. Stephen A. Smith is everywhere. You got a boxing event. You got a UFC event. You got a basketball event, college or pros. You got a football event, college or pros. You got First Take on the road. You got First Take on HBCUs. You got Sirius XM on the road. You got Sirius XM in the nation's capital. The stuff that he talks about, I'm talking to those people. Ain't nobody trying to come sit down with him because he's useless. He's just blowing into the wind with the breath that he has left in his fat ass body. This is who he is.
So you heard what he had to say. What are my thoughts? I got to say this, man. When I started to hear the reasons why Stephen A. Smith was upset at him, like when he went on Sage Steele's show and saying that, and then he brought up some of the other things, like when he called his pastor, I was like, you gotta be, what? His pastor? Do you know what's crazy? He brought up Pastor A.R. Bernard. I used to attend the Christian Cultural Center in Brooklyn, right? When I tell you, a fantastic church. A.R. Bernard, Pastor A.R. Bernard, of all of the pastors that I've heard preach, he is the best. The absolute best. We used to drive from Yonkers. Then when we lived out in Jersey, we used to drive from Jersey just to go attend the service. It was that good. And my favorite part always about a service, my uncle got on me once. Even some people around me get on me, but I don't like the part where people are dancing and singing. Right? I remember the last I was in church with went to my aunt's church in the United Kingdom a number of years ago. So I'm there with my uncle as well. So it's a part where it's like, we're dancing and this is the praise and worship part. And I don't like that part. My favorite part is when the pastor's just interpreting the scripture. That's my favorite part. I can listen to that for an hour. So I'm dancing. I'm like, man, I'm not enjoying this. My uncle goes to me. He goes, what? You don't like praise and worship? I'm like, no, I just don't like this part. So you go to his church, get ready for a masterclass on interpreting the Bible. I mean, A.R. Bernard is that dude, right? So I was shocked to hear that Jason Whitlock would go as far as to call his pastor. I was like, what? The man's pastor? Really, dogs? Nah, you at that point, man, at that point, you can understand why Stephen A. Smith went at him the way that he did. Obviously, he brought up an angle about his father. Now, I don't know anything about the relationship with Stephen A. Smith's father. I don't know his background like that. His nephew was there who was like kind of clarifying that part. I don't know any. That's like personal family, but that ain't none of my business. But there was that aspect which I'm sure set him off. But then going to his that part blew my mind. Bro. Then he also said he called up his school. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. But Stephen A. Smith, I gotta say, man, he funny when he gets into like his insult. He's pretty funny. So I'm definitely looking forward to the rebuttal from Jason because it's coming. It may not come today, but it's gonna come at some point. And boy, I think it's probably gonna come on Monday. But we gonna have to wait and see this one because this one is gonna be good. I don't know what it is with Nick Wright and lying and telling half truth. Like, I don't know why Nick Wright goes. This is why I don't like Nick Wright, man. He be twerking too much for LeBron James. That's the thing about Nick Wright. It's like you just can't tell the guy's story. You gotta tell his story by throwing other NBA. Like the only way to uplift LeBron James in his eyes is to trash everybody else. This is the formula. It just can't be like, oh, LeBron is great and that's it. Nah, Kobe ain't this. Michael Jordan ain't like that. So that's what Nick Wright did. So yesterday, I saw a video from Too Raw for TV where he was talking about why are LeBron fans obsessed with Kobe Bryant. And he was showing a little bit about Nick Wright stuff, but I didn't watch the full video. And then somebody else sent it to me on Instagram. I forgot who did, right? So I said, okay, let me check out this clip of Nick Wright here talking about Kobe Bryant. So it was from one of his more recent shows that they published. When did the show come out? 2 days ago. And it goes, the title shows LeBron James returns to the Lakers, Chiefs desperate versus Colt, Joe Brown back in action, Nick Wright, whatever. So I tune in to kind of hear the part where he was talking about Kobe Bryant. And essentially in this clip, Nick Wright is talking about LeBron's longevity, as it pertains to his game back with the Lakers and all of that. So in the midst of all of this, he then decides to bring in Kobe Bryant. All right. To kind of draw a contrast. But in the midst of him bringing up Kobe Bryant, he lies all the way through. And I remember the clip that the person sent to me. I read the comments on it. When people say Nick Wright is the best at breaking down basketball, he's the best at telling basketball truth. I'm like, these guys are lost. Like, you're getting your information from Nick Wright. Of course you're going to be lost. These are the people. Nick Wright is amongst the people that turned this, that started this whole movement of LeBron James is the GOAT. It's people like him. And it's just lying through his teeth, right? Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to play what Nick Wright had to say here about Kobe Bryant. And then we're going to come back and continue on and really break this thing down. Take a listen to Nick Wright talking about Kobe and LeBron.
Whether you want to focus on the age 40 part or the year 23 part, it being without precedent is such a wild understatement. Like, Kobe Bryant, the late, great Kobe Bryant. How old do you think Kobe was when he played in his final playoff game with the Lakers? I'm going to give it a pause so you can actually think about it. How old was Kobe in his final career playoff game? Are you shocked when I tell you the answer to that is 32? Kobe Bryant did not play in a playoff game with the Lakers after the age of 32. Like, a little context to that. LeBron joined the Lakers when he was 34. So, obviously, Jordan was done with the Bulls at 35, 36. Obviously, we've never seen a player play in a year 23, and the only one to get to a year 22 was Vince. I said this a couple years ago, and people laughed. I think we are now seeing it in real time. He'll simply never be bad. And he could easily play at, again, not an MVP level, but a high level throughout his 40s. Barring you're always at this age a catastrophic injury away, but he's ducked that up to this point in his career. And people can have the argument about the greatest player of all time. That is going to age so well on my end and so poorly for so many other folks, because it is, when it does come to, and this isn't the whole discussion, but it is at least a piece of it, the record books, with the way things are going right now, as far as injuries, load management, guys not being able to make it through a full season, LeBron's longevity records are going to, when people look back on him in 40 years, it's going to be like if you look at complete games in baseball right now and you're like, wait.
Great. So, Nick Wright is essentially trying to make this case that LeBron James is doing things that we had never seen, but specifically from the standpoint of LeBron is playing in the playoffs in his late 30s and 40s, while Kobe, the last time Kobe Bryant made the playoffs was at the age of what year did he say? At the age of 30. What year did he say? At the age of 32, right? At the age of 32. Now, I remember Kobe Bryant's career very well, right? I remember his career very well. I studied it. You know, Kobe was my favorite player of all time, so I know Kobe's career. All right. So, Nick Wright is telling half-truths. All right? That's what Nick Wright was doing. First of all, let's break this down quickly. The year that Kobe Bryant was averaging, let me pull up the numbers here. The year that Kobe Bryant, this is the playoffs. Yes. So the year that Kobe Bryant was having that Vino year, remember when they were calling him Vino? That year, Kobe was averaging 27.3 on 46% shooting, 84% shooting from the floor, while getting you, 5.6 rebounds, 6 assists a game or whatever. That year, Kobe Bryant was 34 years old. Not 32, he was 34. Okay, Pumpkin? What happened was Kobe was playing with Dwight Howard, who was having back issues, Steve Nash, who could barely play, and an old Pau Gasol. But nevertheless, these were his teammates. And they were having a horrendous start to the season. It was that year when Kobe made the declaration that the Lakers are going to make the playoffs. And the Lakers went on this run, right? And they found a way to make it into the playoffs. But I think the second to last or the last game of the season, Kobe Bryant ruptures his Achilles tendon. Now, that year, Kobe Bryant played 78 games at the age of 34. Now, the year that happened was, let me just pull up the correct year. It was a 2012-2013 season. So Lakers, let me just pull it up real quick. Lakers record in 2012 and 13. Okay. Their record that year, no, this is showing me the 2025, right? So their record that year, let me see if Basketball Reference has this correctly. Yes, was 45-37. Okay? It was 45-37, and their head coach was Mike D'Antoni. That's when they became very Kobe Bryant ISO. They became an ISO team, right? Now, that year, Nick Wright told a lie. He said, the last time Kobe was in the play. That year, the Lakers made the playoffs. Kobe Bryant was 34. The Lakers made the playoffs. They lost in round 1 to the Spurs. Kobe made the playoffs at 34. What happened was he got injured with, I think, a game or two left in the season. Lion ass Nick Wright. So the number was actually 34, but he got hurt. Then the Lakers got swept. That's when Dwight Howard, I think, walked out of the game and they were booing him or whatever the hell happened in that game. That's what happened. But I want to get to the larger point here. Nick Wright is saying that, look, Kobe couldn't make the playoffs. The last time he was in the playoffs at 32, which is a lie. It was 34, really, technically. But then he's going to say, the last time Jordan was in the playoffs was at 35. But look at LeBron James. He's so good. He's so good that even at 40, he's in the playoffs. Now, Mr. Nick Wright. Mr. Nick Wright. Mr. Nick Wright. What happened the first year LeBron James became a Laker? Can you tell the audience? LeBron was a Laker what year? 2018-2019 season, right? Guess what happened to the Lakers that year? With LeBron on the team, guess what happened? They missed the playoffs. They were the 10th seed in the West with a 37-45 record. LeBron was right there. Why didn't he make the playoffs? Why? Now, Nick will say, it's because he only played 55 games, so he was injured, right? So Kobe also, too, experienced injuries. He doesn't bring any of that into his talking points. He just totally omits that because he knows it doesn't help his overall point that he's trying to make. He's just telling half truths. Now, let's take it a step further. Nick Wright. Didn't LeBron James miss the playoffs with Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony and these guys on his roster? Did that not happen? But it's the same LeBron James, right? But he missed the play. Matter of fact, he didn't even win more than 33 games. To put that into context, a 40-year-old Jordan Wizards team were able to win 37 games. A younger LeBron playing with Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook only won 33 games. What about the fact that who was Kobe Bryant playing with at the level of a Anthony Davis and missing the playoffs? When did that ever happen? When? When did this ever happen? When was the year when Michael Jordan was playing with a caliber, all-star caliber player of an Anthony Davis and missed the playoffs? The year Jordan was on the Wizards, did he have anybody at the level of Anthony Davis on his roster, please? What about Luka Doncic? Did Jordan play with a player on the level of Luka Doncic at the age of 40? Did he? I don't think he did. You don't put forth any of this information because LeBron fans are fixated with twerking. They just lie and give you half truths. But because they're great orators, you think that these guys are, oh my God, these guys are just, oh my God. I mean, look at Nick Wright. Look at his beard. Look at his beard. I mean, the guy's just so bloody intelligent, not knowing that he's blowing hot air up your ass. That's essentially what is happening here. That's essentially what he's doing. But I'll do you one better, Nick Wright. Since you want to talk about what's incredible. Michael Jordan played what, 15 years? 15 years, right? LeBron's been playing for what, 23, 4, 5,000 years? Do you know that MJ has only lost one playoff series while playing with at least one All-Star? I'll repeat that once more, Nick Wright. Michael Jordan only lost one playoff series in his entire career when he played with at least one All-Star. And do you know when that was? When he came back, when he was wearing 45, when he lost to Shaquille O'Neal and these guys in the first round. That was it. Throughout Michael Jordan's career, he's only lost one playoff series when he played with at least one All-Star. Just one. How many has LeBron lost in the last 4 years? You sure you want to have this debate? You sure you want to have this debate? You sure? During the Jordans, the Bull run, the dynasty run with the Bulls never lost more than 3 games in a row, more than 2 games in a row in 8 years. Y'all still think this is a debate? Y'all still think this is a debate? We're talking about team accomplishments now. All LeBron fans have left are stats and individual accolades. Winning is out of the question, out of the conversation. That's an afterthought. Winning, it's weird. Ring culture is weird. Remember? It's weird. This is all they have left. Coming up with obtuse statistics to make some kind of point that they're never going to make. They're still pushing and hoping and wishing. Bro, the ship is sailed. It's sailed. People already have come to their conclusions, but they're still at it. And my thing is, look, if you want to promote LeBron, promote him, but don't lie on your way to doing that. Don't lie. Y'all lie too much. Kobe didn't. Stop lying and give the full picture. You're trying to make it seem Kobe wasn't good enough to make the playoffs in his latter years, but then omit the fact that LeBron missed the playoffs in his latter years. What point are you making, Nick Wright? What point do you think you were making? You're talking about Kobe. His only point is LeBron did it when he's old. But Nick, he also missed the playoffs when he's old. So what's your point? And he was playing with better talent than Kobe and Jordan. He doesn't bring up any of this. You know why? Because he feels that he's so smart and everybody else is so dumb that no one else will pick up on it. Come on, these guys. This is who we up against. People be asking me going like, why don't you debate a LeBron fan? For what? I've heard all their arguments. All of it. Their arguments are based in statistics. That's it. It's like people that never watch basketball. They just talk about statistics and they can sit up there and memorize pages and pages on basketballreference.com. They feel like if I can do this and spew numbers all over the table, I can confuse people and ask you questions. Do you know this? Do you know that? Oh, you still don't know that? So therefore, no, bro, it don't work like that, dog. We all watch basketball. You're hiding behind these numbers and these statistics because you know you can't make a sound argument without relying so heavily upon statistics. And all of your statistics never take into account context. That's the problem with stats. Like Kenny Smith said, there are three types of lies: lies, damn lies, and stats. Stats can tell you anything you want them to tell you, because if you're arguing against somebody that doesn't have all the information, you look like a savant. You look like some type of seer when it comes to talking basketball. We did a show leading up to the first meeting between new mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani, some people correct me, I'll make sure I get it right, and President Donald Trump. Right now, leading up to their meeting, let's just say that these gentlemen had not been saying friendly things about each other in the media, right? Zohran was being described as a socialist, a communist. The president wasn't a fan of him. I think during his acceptance speech, there was a particular part where he's like, where he basically aimed it at the president. He goes, "And to the president, Donald Trump, 3 words for you, turn up," or 4 words for you, turn up the volume, or turn the volume up, or something like that, right? It was, and a lot of people were talking about it. So going into this meeting, a lot of people thought that it was going to be contentious. The president had threatened to deport him. The president, some people were saying that they could take away his citizenship. It was just a whole bunch of stuff, right? And actually, what we want to do is play what some of these gentlemen were saying about each other heading into their meeting, which we thought was going to be like a showdown, because it's going to give you guys a nice contrast as to why this press conference was just so shocking to a lot of Americans. So take a listen to what these gentlemen were saying about each other leading into their meeting, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to this here.
My administration would be Donald Trump's worst nightmare.
I think he's frankly, I've heard he's a total nut job.
And it's where the mayor will use their power to reject Donald Trump's fascism.
He's a communist. He's not a socialist, by the way. There's a big difference. He's a communist. He's down and dirty. He's a communist.
There is no borough that will be free from Trump's cruelty.
Now it looks like we're going to have a communist mayor in New York. That'll be a lot of fun.
Excellent. So you heard that part, right? So I think we had finished shooting at this point. So I was desperately trying to get a hold of this meeting, and I forgot what channel. It was a YouTube channel. I saw it on, I can't remember, I think Associated, but I don't remember the channel. So I went there to start, to see them talking, and they were actually in the Oval Office, right? And the president, as he customarily does, he's sitting down in a chair, and then Zohran was standing up beside him, fielding questions from reporters. So as I tuned in and I started to listen to them, I was like, is it just me, or Zohran and the president seem to be very friendly with one another? It almost seems like as if Zohran was in the Oval Office with one of his uncles that he's been having a disagreement with for some years, but then they got together and made up. It was absolutely shocking the way they were speaking to each other. So what we want to do is play a quick compilation of some of what the president and Zohran Mamdani had to say to one another, and I'm going to come back and give you guys our full reaction. Take a listen to some of the sound here.
Just had a great meeting, a really good, very productive meeting. We have one thing in common. We want this city of ours that we love to do very well. And I wanted to congratulate the mayor. He really ran an incredible race against, a lot of smart people, starting with the early primaries against some very tough people, very smart people. And he beat them easily. And I congratulated him. I think you're going to have, hopefully, a really great mayor. The better he does, the happier I am, I will say. There's no difference in party. There's no difference in anything. And we're going to be helping him to make everybody's dream come true, having a strong and very safe New York. And congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Please.
The meeting with the president, and as he said, it was a productive meeting focused on a place of shared admiration and love, which is New York City, and the need to deliver affordability to New Yorkers, the 8.5 million people who call our city their home, who are struggling to afford life in the most expensive city in the United States of America. We spoke about rent, we spoke about groceries, we spoke about utilities, we spoke about the different ways in which people are being pushed out, and I appreciated the time with the president, I appreciated the conversation. I look forward to working together to deliver that affordability for New York.
Mamdani is a communist. Can you describe why you feel that way? And also, will you do anything to stop him from arresting Prime Minister Mr. Netanyahu if he visits New York?
Well, we didn't discuss your second part of the question, and on your first part, I mean, he's got views that are a little out there, but who knows? I mean, we're going to see what works, or he's going to change also. We all change. I changed a lot. From when I first came to office. It's now quite a while ago. It's quite a while. My first term was great. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We're doing even better now. We're doing much better now than we did even the first term. And I can tell you some of my views have changed. And we had discussions on some things. I'm not going to discuss what they were, but that I feel very confident that he can do a very good job. I think he is going to surprise some conservative people, actually.
It sounds like you had a productive discussion, but just days ago you referred to President Trump as a despot who betrayed the country. You said you would be his worst nightmare and accused him of having a fascist agenda. Are you planning to retract any of these remarks in order to improve your relationship?
I think both President Trump and I, we are very clear about our positions and our views, and what I really appreciate about the president is that the meeting that we had focused not on places of disagreement, which there are many, and also focused on the shared purpose that we have in serving New Yorkers. And frankly, that is something that could transform the lives of the 8.5 million people who are currently struggling under a cost of living crisis, with 1 in 4 living in poverty. And the meeting came back again and again to what it could look like to lift those New Yorkers out of struggle and start to deliver them a city that they could do more than just struggle to afford it, but actually start to live in it.
And I've been called much worse than a despot, so it's not that insulting.
New York City home. Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mamdani administration?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely.
What makes you comfortable?
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought. I think I want him to do a great job.
Excellent. So you heard that, right? I got to say I was floored. Now, first of all, let me just say this. Zohran did a masterful job at fielding some of those gotcha questions because those reporters were out to get him. Those reporters were out to get him. I think one of them even asked him the question like, why didn't you take a train here from New York City? Why did you fly? And to my surprise, the person that came in to defend him was the president. Donald Trump was like, well, it wouldn't be, he goes something like, it's a long trip. I'm paraphrasing it. That'll be a long trip, and it's much faster to take the plane. And I'm sure the reporter was like, Mr. President, what are you doing? What are you doing? We're supposed to be painting this guy as a socialist, a communist, however we want to describe him. And then here you are coming to his defense. The president shocked me. Literally, I could not believe. I'm looking at Donald Trump and I'm like, this cannot be the same Trump that we all know. This couldn't be the same Trump we just listened to a few moments ago when we played the sound for you. I was stunned. And here's what I think. Here's what I think happened. All right. Here's what I think happened. This is just my take on it. I think that Zohran killed the president with kindness, respect, and compliments. I think that's what happened. Obviously, none of us were behind their closed door meeting, but I think that's what happened. Donald Trump, and Patrick David brought up this point, which was an astute observation. Trump seems to be one of these men that, not men because there are women like this too. One of these people that are very big on respect, right? Trump is like an African uncle. Like these guys, they don't, when it comes to respect, even if you're having a disagreement with the person older than you, if you show him respect, you'll soften him up. You will literally butter him up and soften him up. Even when there were times when the reporter were trying to, bring up moments and times when Zohran had said some unsavory things about the president, he would just flip it around and be like, well, the president's fantastic. Sometimes we have our disagreements, but look, we're both working in the best interest. I'm like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. We even posted on it on our channel community section yesterday where I wrote, I am stunned that Zohran and the president seem like friends. What a shocking press conference. Right? And people were chiming in. One of our viewers said, it's called diplomacy. Another guy said, you should not be shocked by anything in politics. these days. Another guy said, who was very cynical, said that didn't matter. None of this matters. Another guy said this is the world stage. And a few other people chimed in. Look, to me, that was a shocker. I mean, it really, the president, we went from Donald Trump talking about potentially withholding funding from New York City. Now, that would be crazy because New York City, I just read a stat not too long ago, contributes to 18% of all of the tax collected in the United States comes from New York City. 18% of all of the taxes collected by the government comes from New York City. That is how important New York is to the United States, the financial capital of the United States. So it's a very, obviously we all know this, I'm not breaking any news here, but we went from the president threatening to withhold funding from New York. We went from that to now President Trump is talking about, we're going to do whatever we can to make sure he succeeds. What? What? It also says something else about politics, and I think some people get it, some people don't. Some people are still really entrenched in the game, while others have kind of figured this thing out already. Politics, when people are campaigning against one another, right? Or when you're on the stump for somebody else, you're going to say things that you don't necessarily mean, but you're saying them to fire up voters to go and support your cause. But once the dust settles, people don't really feel as strongly as they do about one another. I give you guys a perfect example of this. I think it was whose funeral were they attending? I don't remember. But the last time we saw President Trump and former President Barack Obama. Now, Trump has said things about Obama. Obama has said things about Trump. But the last time we saw them, and I think in that church, when they were sitting down, people were shocked because Trump was cracking jokes with the president. They were sitting right next to each other. And people are like, but I thought these guys, that's politics for you. Now, there are times when people genuinely don't like each other. I'll give you an example. Dick Cheney just passed away. His family didn't invite J.D. Vance and the president. So there's real bad blood there. But most of the times, it's just politics. All right? It's politics. So there's obviously a bit of that that's going on here, but this was too much of a surprise. Zohran, bro, I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he did it. We went from talking about the president possibly withholding funds from New York City to now we're going to do everything in our power to help Zohran succeed. What a shocker. What a shocker. This guy, Zohran, is unbelievable. He's unbelievable when it comes to being a diplomat. I mean, that was his toughest test yet, and he passed with flying colors. And the president shocked me. It must have been a great meeting.